What a year it has been for Bethesda. 2019 has been an astounding year in the company's history, and will certainly go down in the books as one of the most tumultuous times for the company ever. Ever. The company has never seen so much controversy, has never seen so much backlash, and has never seen so much negative feedback than it has in the year 2019. And the truly amazing fact of that is the game that has caused so much controversy, Fallout 76, wasn't even released this year. It was released in 2018. But a lot of people, just by the bad press of this game, would probably assume that it was this year. And a lot of people are talking about this. I cite Jim Sterling has brought this up many times. It's like this game came out this year. It's getting so much traction in the press. Every gaming journalist on at least YouTube has covered this game extensively because of all the problems it's had.
We are going to have a beta, the Break It Early test application. Because evidently, these online games are hard, they can have some nasty issues. I read on the internet that our games have had a few bugs. I read it on the internet, so it's true. And that sometimes it doesn't just work. A map of the world that glows in the fucking dark. So you're probably wondering, when is this game coming out? We're excited to say that it's coming out this year, November 14th.
But it isn't just their games and products that Bethesda's having trouble with. Bethesda's having trouble with just maintaining a good relationship with their fan base, with their customer base. More recently, the most recent thing that Bethesda has kind of misjudged how they should respond to these things are the newest hacks that happened with Fallout 76. After some players were able to spawn in things like the Pridwin and human NPCs, a new cheat device would be released that allowed people to steal players' inventories if they were within render distance to them. We're talking about 200 meters. As long as the players are rendered in that area, in that circumference, in that diameter of 200 meters, you would be able to steal their entire inventory, everything they were carrying on them except quest items and the like. But we're talking about even the Pip-Boy, which would essentially break the character. Bethesda's response to this was to downplay what had happened. It took them a few days to respond with a lot of their social media and things like that promoting Fallout 76 and to spend more money there, promoting their items, which is typically normal, but when you have something like this going on, you might want to address it as quickly as possible. But by the time they did address it, somebody had already used the hack extensively. A video appeared on YouTube where a player was able to steal upwards to 500 plus players' inventories, entire inventories, and then able to just throw what they wanted into their stash box right there, and it was over. This person was walking away with almost 600 players' inventories. Bethesda's response said, a few people were affected by this. And this again has caused the fan base and the customer base to kind of lose their trust with Bethesda, and it's not a lot of trust that remains there, if any at all, but it still is surprising a lot of people, including myself, how little Bethesda seems to care when it comes to these things. And I've talked to people at Bethesda, and I want to go through that in this video. Of course, these hacks were focused on the PC version of the game. It'd be quite hard to do a similar thing on the consoles, especially the PlayStation 4, but also the Xbox One. It's, you know, I wouldn't say that it's impossible to do, but it's definitely going to be a lot more complicated than simple cheating scripts and injectors. You would have to modify it on a whole nother level. You probably have to modify your entire console. I'm getting off of the point. Regardless, maybe the console market is a bit bigger for Fallout 76 than the PC market is. I'm not sure, didn't look it up, don't know. But what I do know is Bethesda's response to it was rather lackluster. I ended up, as many of you know, breaking that story, and though some people in the comments of those videos would like to dispute that, the numbers speak for themselves. I had the first video up ever talking about these hacks. I had the Reddit post that was talking about them in that context. Of course, there were people warning about this happening months beforehand, but once I got concrete evidence sent to me from people who not necessarily were using these hacks, but were filming people using these hacks, I was able to talk about it and break the story on YouTube to the people that would listen, and there you go. And I was able to post on Reddit about it to get it more attention, because I thought it should be addressed, because I knew that somebody was about to release a hack that was going to allow everybody to steal everybody's inventory on PC. Now, I don't have a dog in this race. I've never used the hack. I only play Fallout 76 on the Xbox One. But and you might be thinking, if you don't like the game, you don't like this, why would you even care about that? Well, there's a few reasons. The journalist in me, the person who wants to report about these things, was very excited to be one of the first people to be talking about this. It was a big opportunity for me, and I was excited to do it. Secondly, I thought it was wrong that the players were being attacked at all. It's not the players' fault that the game is shoddy. It's not the players' fault that Bethesda has done all these practices that people are really unhappy with. Though I don't think that this was some kind of message to, oh, Fallout 76 is bad. I think this was somebody having fun at the expense of the game engine. It did in turn hurt a lot of people, because Bethesda's response pretty much hints that they want to, quote, make things right, which means you're not getting your inventory back if it was stolen. So any of these people who got just tons of legendary stuff that they did put a lot of hours into, and I'm not sitting here judging somebody who spent a lot of time on Fallout 76. If that's your cup of tea, not your cup of tea, brother. I am not here to judge that. But what I am here to say is that it is very, very upsetting if somebody spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours grinding something, maybe a rare item or a super statted legendary that really works with their build, and now it's gone forever. And they don't know if they could get something similar back, and Bethesda's not going to be giving it back to them at all. From my point of view, this affected Bethesda's reputation far before it even happened. People were warning about this hack and warning that this was something that was going to happen, and Bethesda did nothing to stop it. Nothing. We're talking 3, 4, maybe even 6 months in advance. Bethesda saw this kind of stuff on Reddit, which is the Fallout 76 Reddit. Bethesda admits to and posts regularly on that Reddit. They read it all the time. They admit to reading it, is what I was trying to say there. They admit to reading it, and they post on it frequently. So they knew. In fact, they probably replied to some of those things like, "Oh, don't worry, no, don't worry." Now, that's of course hearsay. You know, I'm not saying that I know for sure that's how Bethesda interpreted or responded to those things. They might not have responded to them at all. But I'm just saying that they definitely had seen that this was something that was coming. And you got to think that a game developer at Bethesda, even if it's Bethesda Austin working on Fallout 76. They're going to know a bit more about that kind of shit than I am, at the very least. Now, I'm not going to speak for you. You watching this video, you could be Elite Hacker Man. You could be an insanely talented game developer, and you know the ins and outs. But from my point of view, I don't know dick about making a video game. I don't know dick about, like, getting bugs out of a video game or detecting things or anything like that. I know to play them. I know my play style and how I like to play the games in question. But I don't know the ins and outs like that. So maybe, you know, this is a bit more complicated than it seems, but many people that I talk to that do have knowledge say that this was incredibly preventable, and with the foreknowledge that they had, should have been patched out months ago. Because as you've heard, more than likely, a lot of what this affects has been patched out and fixed already, apparently. Now, I can't confirm or deny if Bethesda has actually patched out the inventory hack. I'm getting a lot of reports that they have, but I don't know if they did or not. Some people are reporting that they can still do this. So it's weird to hear from one side, "Oh, Bethesda, we fixed this," and then to hear from a few other people that don't really seem to have a reason to lie, to say, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm still able to do this." So it's just interesting. Like, is it fixed or is it not? It wasn't addressed correctly. It was addressed like most everything else with Fallout 76, and it goes to show, again, like I said, the level of care that Bethesda has when it comes to these types of things. They care incredibly when they're marketing something to you. They care incredibly when it comes to shoving the Atom Shop down your throat, or, "Oh my God, Wastelanders is going to change everything and it's going to be so good." They care incredibly about getting that information out. They make patch notes every time they make a little update to the game, and they're so happy to show you everything that they've done. But, you know, when it comes time to own up to something that could have been prevented, should have been prevented, and absolutely should be rectified with these players, you know, we see mousy Bethesda again put their tail between their legs and say, well, oh, not very many people were affected, and we're going to do our best to make this right. It's like, dude, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. It was under your watch. You knew it was going to happen. So what do we go for this? And people, I don't think anybody's really wondering. Maybe people in Bethesda are wondering why so many people are like, I'm just kind of done. I'm just kind of done. Like, and I'm not done with Bethesda games. I enjoy Fallout 4, Fallout 3. Obsidian's New Vegas is fucking amazing, also published by Bethesda. And there's even some fringe titles out there that I really enjoy playing. The mods for Fallout 4 and Skyrim are some of my favorites. And so I have a good time with that. So I'm not just going to not play those games because 76 is bad. But moving forward, I think we can all agree that taking what they say with a grain of salt, which we've all done anyway. When you follow gaming and you follow that industry, you take things with a grain of salt because you're used to not necessarily lies, but stretched truths. And yeah, you get used to lies because a lot of companies show you shit that isn't real. They market their game. They're trying to sell their game. But overall, it makes sense to your brain. You're like, yeah, they were trying to sell their game. Of course, it's gonna, there's changes and things like that. But 76 is different. And it's been different this entire year. Since its launch in 2018, nary a month has gone by. And sometimes not even 2 weeks, sometimes not even a week has gone by without some kind of controversy from Fallout 76. And this actually extends to pre-launch as well. And I talked about these things a lot on the channel, but we had the canvas bags, the duffel kerfuffle, if you know what I'm saying. People were getting little nylon trash bags instead of these canvas bags that some people, that was why they ordered the special edition. The bag looked really nice. They were excited about it. Bethesda said, well, there was a shortage of materials, so we couldn't make those, and here's the nylon, because we all know about this great canvas famine of 2018, 2017. We remember that, and I'm glad we've all survived through the great canvas famine. Then you had the Nuka Dark rum that was marketed to be this bottle of like in-game looking Nuka Dark, that's like you see in Fallout 4, the little rocket ship bottle. But it was a rum. It was an adult drink, and people were excited. The fans of Fallout were stoked. Oh, I can get a rum bottle that's shaped like Nuka-Cola, put it in my office or my house or something like that. I put it on display. Really like it. It's going to be cool. And then people were treated with a plastic shell that just had a regular bottle of rum inside, and yada yada. That whole fiasco. Going into the game, it was launched broken. It was launched buggy, and it wasn't just buggy, but it was like I said, it was incredibly broken. The basic parts of it didn't work. Going out from the beta into the actual launch, into the actual choices that Bethesda starts to make with the game when it comes to monetization, which really left a lot of bad taste in everybody's mouth. Not everybody, actually, but at least in a lot of people's mouths. The monetization became way too egregious, and then you had the goddamn Fallout First subscription. It's just been one misstep after the other. And then to not address the hacking things before it happened, probably because that one guy got like over 500 people, you gotta assume that with a game of this scale, with that many people on it, tons more people who didn't film it, who, aren't out there trying to be funny with it and film it and show it off, we're probably talking about thousands of people who lost their inventories here. Conjecture, of course, because I don't have any specific numbers, but it's not hard to think that thousands of people in the PC market lost all their items. There's tons of people coming forward saying it happened to them and they logged off really fast, all this other kind of stuff. I've seen tons of those stories. So, what do you do from here is what I want to know. Do you continue to double down on the monetization? Do you continue to not listen to your fan base, knowing that there's so few strands left? There's so few strands left, and it doesn't matter how many people have the Fallout First subscription and how much money you're getting monthly. It doesn't, or, a lot of those people are going to be buying the whole year, so you're not getting it monthly, I guess, but you got it all at once anyway. It doesn't matter how much money you're making daily on the Atomic Shop, because at the end of the day, your job is to sell the games you make. Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 are not going to be nearly on par with Skyrim or Fallout 4 with the way you're going right now. Anyways, thanks guys for listening to me rant this last free-form rant of 2019. I can't believe we've made it. I want to thank you guys, by the way, for 20,000 subscribers. This year has been so big for my channel. It's unbelievable. Yes, I know. It's the elephant in the room. The elephant wearing the bowler cap and smoking the cigar and drinking your dad's scotch. I understand that a lot of you came from me calling out Oxhorn. But I've heard that a lot of you stayed because you have enjoyed the content that I make. Because calling out Oxhorn wasn't just the point of the channel. I was a channel 5 years before that, and I hope to be a channel 5 years after that. The growth that I've seen on the channel has been amazing, and I can't express how grateful I am that you guys just want to listen to me. That you guys come onto the streams and hang out. And above all, you support it. On Patreon, YouTube channel members, coming to the Discord and boosting the server, things like that. Donations and super chats and stream, it's so ridiculously generous and it humbles me every fucking time. And I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it, and going into 2020, I plan to make more structured videos that aren't just bitching all the time. I'm gonna bitch every once in a while because I know that you guys like listening to me rant about things like this video here, but most of the content's going more towards the more structured things like that. The video I did, which I'll put a link here to, the day Fallout died. A lot of people have been enjoying that video, and so I plan to make a lot more things like that, and then also covering different games beyond Fallout the same way on the Mantis Gaming Docs channel, which you can find a link to on the main page or during the end screen of this video. But speaking of people who support the channel, I do want to thank my patrons and YouTube channel members. You guys are fucking awesome, and again, like I said, I cannot do this without you. There's literally no Mantis without my supporters, and I just can't. I just want to kiss every one of you, but you'll probably bite my head off or something. I want to thank my biggest supporters: Kim Jong-un, Popo Hum, Your Typical Redneck, Mark Train, Jay of the Jungle, and Fireflare. You guys are ridiculous, and I've called many of you friends at this point. Getting to know you through YouTube and through Discord has been it's been all such a good and overwhelming experience. I can't even explain it. So here's to another year, and if you want to see your name in those credits and you want to get a shout out, anything like that, you can check out the Patreon, YouTube channel membership links down below and support the channel more directly. Thank you guys for checking me out. Thanks for listening. It has been Mantis.
I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die,